Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
World of Outlaws Dirt Racing is available now.
Good evening, race fans, and welcome to round number 1 of the 2023 World of Outlaws ButtKicker Late Model Series, powered by iRacing. We are at Volusia Speedway Park for the first of 10 races on this 2023 campaign. Tim Terry and Terry Radford here to call all the action for you. And Terry, this is round number 1. We've got a lot of returning faces. We've got 15 rookies to this series, some of them no stranger to the World of Outlaws racing. We see some sprint car guys jumping over to the late model scene. This is going to be a fun night tonight.
Yeah, from California to Canada, we got it all across the great United States and to our neighboring partners to the north. It's good to have the Terry and Terry show on here, but a lot of rookies and a lot of returning people. This is going to be really fun. The 2023 qualifying series winners here, the 2019 runner-up, the defending champions back. We got an eNASCAR driver in the field as well. Oh, he also runs some late models on the dirt. It's going to be a great season, 10 weeks to deal with you.
Yeah, absolutely. This is going to be a fun season, and we've got 10 races to get through, and you see that on your screen, some very familiar racetracks that we are used to going to every season. And it's 10 consecutive weeks, except for the Labor Day weekend. On that Monday, we will be off. Every other Monday night, we will be here with you all the way through the middle of September when we crown a champion at the dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway. So this is what they're racing, and this is what they're racing for, Terry. We've got some big prizes. Total prize pool, that's a big number, $25,000.
Yeah, what would you do for $25,000? I'm pretty sure I'd wreck my mother. If she's watching, she would understand. $25,000 is $25,000. But for individual race prizes, $300 all the way down to $100. Your top 3 gets rewarded for being, the podium drivers. $10,000 for the championship, all the way down to $200 if you finish inside that top 10. A lot to shoot for, and these drivers have it all going for them as we'll take a look at the track map here.
We are at Volusia Speedway Park in Barberville, Florida, and this track is synonymous with kicking off racing seasons. And Terry, this place always provides us some great excitement.
Yeah, only being that's the world's fastest half mile. I know a lot of people will say that's Bristol, but nope, that's Volusia down here in De Leon Springs, Florida. Last year's winners in the field, Evan Say, with 14,000 people can sit in these seats, but a lot more will watch here on iRacing. And hey, it was built in 1968.
Yeah, absolutely. As the drivers begin to grid here, Terry, we are going to bring you 4 heat races this evening. As 4 heat races, 2 LCQs, and this show is going to be one to watch.
It's Evan C. My bad. The Tennessee education, it always seems to fight. But 4 heats, 2 LCQs is going to be really, really entertaining to watch. You take a look right there at our race program for the evening. The top 4 advancing from the heat, top 2 advancing from the LCQs to make up your field for the 50-lap feature race that will conclude our show this afternoon. Man, this is making me want to race a little bit more. Like, well, I mean, I could race on Xbox or I could race on iRacing.
Absolutely. We'll talk some more console as we go on. But, Terry, take us through the field for heat race number 1.
Yeah, you got Evan C. up there starting off on the pole with Blake Machulis, Dylan Wilson, Chase Barbaretta, Drew Hopkins, and Dylan Yeager back there rounding out the top 3 rows with Ethan Toder in row 4 with Tucker Elkins and Brett Caudill back there rounding out your 9-driver heat number 1 event.
And that front row, C. Majulis. How do you not kick off a season with those 2 powers up in front? And then Dylan Wilson, always a contender when we come to the World of Outlaws ButtKicker Late Model Series, and Chase Barber on the outside in the 23. There are 4 names that are very familiar to our fans as we get ready to go at it. And Terry, those 4 positions are right now the ones that count, because those will be transfers, but we are going to see this racetrack change over these 4 heat races. We are going to see those positions in the top 4 change. We remind you there is no cautions in the heat races and the LCQ, so these drivers have to be elbows up, no pun intended, and up on the wheel to try to get everything they can.
Well, you talk about the experience in the first 2 rows. They know how to chase the grip. They know how to go find different grooves on this racetrack. You see right here, we're just on the pace lap already, and they're putting the time down to get up there into the cushion a little bit, cool those tires down, make sure they get the extra grip in these late models. Hey, but the temperature here, 85 degrees, track temp being 88 degrees. That could play a little bit of a factor as well as we get ready for this heat race. As the grate stays the same throughout there, whatever they work in, it continues to follow along.
Absolutely. As you see this field go around 8 laps in these heat races this evening, we are going to take the top 4 and move them along to the feature. And the temperature going to change a little bit, but Terry, as you mentioned, this racetrack is going to change. Typically, we see a rework after the LCQ. Sometimes we do not. We will see how these drivers work in this racetrack, but this is going to be a fun 8-lap heat. You've got to get up into the top 4, and there are some familiar names up there that are going to try to hold them off. This first one is absolutely stacked.
Well, you saw right there, the track's already rubbered in just a little bit from the practice session, but that pace truck's down. I tell you what, Tim Terry, it's time to go racing.
Absolutely it is. Green flag flies. We are underway in the 2023 World of Outlaws ButtKicker late models. And there goes one. We're almost 3 wide as they go down the back straightaway for the first time. Chase Barber on the outside in the 23 trying to roll the top.
You see right there, 3 wide, sets it for 3rd, but it's going to funnel down to 2 as they go down the front straightaway. It's a side-by-side. Here comes Wilson. He's trying to look underneath for 2nd, but he's not going to get that to happen. We're going 3 wide once again. Oh, there's actually a little contact made all around he goes.
Off the bumper, Dylan Yeager, as we stay green flag racing in these heat races, and now the battle continues to be for that transfer position or around that bubble. Evan C. continues to lead, Blake Majulis in 2nd, and Wilson and Barbara back and forth for 3rd and 4th.
Yeah, back and forth for the position, but C has it. Majulis sitting there in 2nd, trying to figure out what he can do to get up there. I don't think he's going to push it too hard. He's already in a transfer position, but that fight for 3rd and 4th is allowing Yeager to come into this fight as well. You don't want to be the driver that's going to go there. So go on board with Blake Majulis sitting there out of New York in the 127. Bird's eye view of C is starting to pull away just a little bit.
And behind, the 48 begins to make that move as Blake Majulis chases down the leader. We've got a couple of really good battles with a couple of laps to go in this one, making 3 laps to go. Down the back as you see out the back of Evan C. He's got the VR headset on, and we've got some battles for positions. Top 2, though, C and Majulis. Big names pulling away.
Yeah, you talked about the experience level right here in that front 2, but you look right there for the battle for 3rd and the battle for the transfer spot. Yeager wants it. Wilson's got it. Wilson's going to sail it underneath the Barberetta. He can't make that one stick, but we'll see if Yeager can do it. 2 laps to go. Now white flags in the air in heat number 1. It's a 3-way fight for 3rd.
It's going to come down to the final lap, final corner of this one. Yeager sails it on in. Can he get to the inside of the 80? He's not going to be able to make the move for that final transfer position as Evan C. gets the victory in that one. C wins over Majulis, Chase Barbara in position number 3, and then that tight battle at the end in behind. That'll give Dylan Wilson the final transfer spot. We've seen in this series Dylan Yeager get up on the wheel, this and the sprint cars as well. He is going to be one to watch in our last chance showdowns later on. Toder, Elkins, Cottle, and Drew Hopkins was the driver that went around in the early laps of that one. There's another driver we are going to have to watch in that last chance showdown later on this evening. Heat race number 2 coming at us. Terry, who is in the grid?
Yeah, you see Tanner Tomasi up there leading the row with Barrett Bishop, Taylon Willis, Jeremy Steele, Robert Buchanan Jr., and Mike Augustine. Your top 6. We go back there to Logan Rumsey, Jesse Wall, and Blake Murray. Your 9-car field for heat number 2.
As we get ready to punch the tickets of 4 more drivers, you can log on to iRacing.com/WOOLM to see all the stats of the series, all the drivers that are in here, and for more information on how to get your iRacing career started, head over to iRacing.com, get your membership, and like Terry said earlier, you can be on the racetrack and going door to door and slinging some mud with these drivers, and now we'll see that WOOLM link. iRacing.com is the place to go, /WOOLM, to learn all about the series. The one thing, Terry, that I do like about the website, and they've done a great job with it again this year, is the spotter guide. You can match a face to a name, to a car, to a team, and get accustomed to these drivers as we will be over the next 10 weeks of racing. So iRacing.com/WOOLM for everything World of Outlaws, ButtKicker late models, powered by iRacing.
That's the awesome thing about iRacing is they go big or they go home, and they always go big. It is 40% off for those new members on iRacing.com. Don't forget that little throw in there as well. You can start your career. It's always going to be fun to get on iRacing. There's so many great events that's pulling up, whether it's the Firecracker 400, if you want to race some 87s, or you want to come race some dirt late models. The track got updated, the tire got updated, and it has been an absolute joy to sling some mud around these racing surfaces all around the country in the virtual world. So iRacing.com, 40% off. Come race with me or get wrecked by me. I don't know. There's 2 different options with you.
You can see off that shot there, Terry, the track is starting to really be worked in into turn number 3, and you can start to see a little bit of the groove in the corner where your outside pole sitter Barrett Bishop just went in the middle of that corner. We're going to continue to see this track work as we go along with these heat races. As we get the one to go this time by, we'll be racing next time by. Tomasi will be one to watch in the 09. Barrett Bishop, we know Barrett. We've seen Barrett before. He is going to be one of those drivers up on the wheel. We are seeing, though, a lot of new names, Terry, in this heat race. We also see Logan Rumsey. We also see Jesse Wall. We see Mike Augustine. But those 3 names that we've heard before start outside of transfer positions in heat race number 2. As Tanner about to be on the hammer, he is the control car in the 09, and he is going to be on it. Green flag flies, and we are underway.
Great start by Tanner there as the side-by-side for second. Tried to shoot it 3 wide, but couldn't make that work. That's Willis and Bishop. Bishop's going to get the spot. That's going to put the battle right here between Buchanan and Steele It is a whole lot closer than it was in heat number 1 as they're coming to complete. They just completed lap 1, trying to work lap 2.
Mike Augustine's beginning to work, was working to the outside of that number 19, but cannot make the move for at least the transfer position and just gets to the inside, trying to maybe make it 3 wide, but he's got to be careful. Here comes Logan Rumsey working the bottom.
Yeah, that transfer spot right there is like an angry beehive. Somebody's poked at it and they learned something from heat 1. But you see there, a little contact's made. Shot Steele into the corner. So we go on board with Jeremy Steele. His facial expression didn't change much, but I'd have been a little bit nervous. He's 1 spot out. He sees 3 wide for the lead, but he's got Buchanan right in front of him. Can he get the transfer spot?
He needs 1, and maybe he needs 2 as one more car looking to the inside of Jeremy Steele. Doesn't want to go to a last chance showdown as Logan Rumsey works to the inside and tries to pick up 1 more as they continue to fight. We're halfway through heat race number 2. Top 4 will transfer into the main later on this evening.
And now you got the 19 of Augustine. He's working his way, trying to get past Steele there for 6th. It's still anybody's ball game with 3 laps to go. Who's going to qualify to get to the feature and not have to be a part of the LCQ? But you look right here, an absolute hornet's nest. There's Rumsey, there's Buchanan. Side by side into the corner they go, almost 4 wide.
They will come down this next time by and see 1 to go. Rumsey's looking to the inside. He's been working that inside all race long. He needs to get that 1 more position in front of them. They continue to go side by side and 3 wide for the lead. Barrett Bishop in the 3, looking to make something happen on the final lap. Bishop will steal the lead. Can he hold it to the line? They are going to drag race down, checkered flag, and Barrett Bishop is going to pick up the victory in this one. Tomasi in the 09 was close to that one, could not seal the deal, but Tanner will end up with a transfer position into the main event. Alan Willis, Logan Rumsey, your top 4, Buchanan, Steele, Augustine, Wall, and Murray, all to one of the 2 last chance showdowns. 2 heat races done, 2 to go. We'll be right back after this.
Rated E10 for ages 10 and up.
You wanted the best, you got him for a breast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the world of Outlaws.
Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 4, and PlayStation 5. Drive like an outlaw.
Welcome back to Volusia and round number 1 of the World of Outlaws ButtKicker late models powered by iRacing. Heat race number 3 is on the grid, and Terry, it's led by a very familiar name to this series.
Indeed it is. Kendall Tucker will be the pole sitter for this one with Chase Hardy to the outside, Peyton Stevenson, Colton Zimmer, Desmond Busby. And we go back there, you got Nathan Waddle starting in row 4, Travis St. Clair, and a very notable name for a lot of people that watch stuff on iRacing with Caden Honeycutt and Logan Herbert rounds out the 9 drivers that are going to take in here for heat race number 3.
We mentioned it earlier, Terry, that if you're looking to go racing on maybe some of your favorite consoles, the World of Outlaws Dirt Racing is available now for Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, PS4, and PS5. You can learn all about it at worldofoutlaws.game.com, and you can race these racetracks, and you can race these cars that we're seeing this evening and others as they go on different series. There's the multiplayer, the career mode. If you don't have it yet, I don't know what you're waiting for.
Yeah, I don't know what you're waiting for at all. This is one of the greatest games I've ever raced. When it comes to a console racing game, it took me all the way back to like a Midnight Club edition, but on dirt racing, right? You want to go out there on the newest console with the best drivers on the planet. You could race with your buddies. You could race by yourself. It does not matter. Go look it up now. World of Outlaws Dirt Racing. It's available today. It's built by iRacing. Well, it already looks good on the computer. Why not make it look good on your console too?
And you can take a look at some of these drivers that are getting ready to go. And, well, some of them are getting ready to go in this heat race coming up. Evan C. is already locked from earlier. And then you got a couple that are looking over what might be data. We're going to call it that, Terry, as the field begins to roll off. We're going to check in with some of these drivers like we already have throughout this evening and see how they are sawing on the wheel to get up and get closer towards the front. I've got my eye on Desmond Busby in this heat race. Busby reeled off 3 top 10 finishes at the end of the 2022 season to really stake his claim, but came on strong at the end. Had a solid first half, but not what he wanted to. We'll see what Busby can do here. He will roll off in the 82 from position number 5 as we get ready to go racing next time by the stripe. Terry, what do you got your eye on in this heat?
I'm going to take the low-hanging fruit here. I got my eye on Caden Honeycutt, starting in the 8th in the 16 machine. He's been all over. He's raced a lot of tracks. He's understanding the dirt over here on this side a little bit more. And I can't stray away from my NASCAR roots. I'm taking Caden here.
And Caden does have some dirt roots as well, as he will start in position number 8 with Travis St. Clair in the same row. And there's another driver that knows a thing or two about these World of Outlaws ButtKicker late models. Green flag back in the air. This is heat race number 3, and already quickly to the inside as we've got a battle side by side for position number 2. Tucker begins to inch away and lets the field battle it out for those bubble spots.
Yeah, not as crazy as Heat 2 was, but it's getting there right here as you see a 3-wide fight for third. Hardy, Zimmerman, Busby, all on top of each other and to the outside. We're starting to see, you start to see somebody just sneak up there and go just a little bit above the rubber that's laid on this racetrack. Try to get the cushion just a little bit, but still 2 by 2 they go all the way through this field from second on back.
1L back there in the red and white number 5 is trying to make that inside work as well. We saw Busby right in the middle of this shot right here, trying to get something out of this heat race and not have to go to a last chance showdown. But he's got to get up on the wheel here and get one of these 2 spots as they're 3 wide at a turn number 2.
Yeah, a transfer spot just as good. Contacts made. There it goes. Oh, there goes Busby. He's back all the way back to the last place position. He had contact there. It looked to be from the 10 of Honeycutt, moved up into him, and then it's a massive fight from Herbert on back. They can't seem to get where they want to go, but it looks like your pick and my pick. My pick's doing pretty good.
There's the Aledo, Texas driver, Caden Honeycutt. He's in a transfer position, sitting in position number 4, but you want to move up in these heat races if you have the opportunity to, Terry, because it's a little bit closer to the start of the grid, or the top of the grid in that 50-lap contest. As we work with 2 to go, little contact there as Caden Honeycutt tries to get that one more spot and move himself up to position number 3 as he'll work it around with Colton Zimmer.
Zimmer had an issue right there. He got way down there on the bottom, and it looked like that thing did not want to stick. You couldn't get the back end to rotate, and he just got past there. But you look a little bit, you look back up here at your race leader with Tucker. He took off from the top. Kendall Tucker takes heat win number 3.
And he will go to victory lane as Caden Honeycutt looked at Peyton Stevenson at the end of this one, but could not solve the second place position. And Honeycutt will remain in 3rd at the checkered flag. Colton Zimmer in 4th. Travis St. Clair from the back of that heat race up to position number 5. Desmond Busby got what he could at the end of 6. Chase Hardy in 7th. Nathan Waddell in position number 8. And completing your field, Logan Herbert in the 9th place spot. We got 3 heats completed. Terry, we've got one more. Who's starting this final heat?
Yeah, you start right here with James Eden. Going to start from the pole with Cameron Kaysen to his outside. J.D. Brown back there in 3rd with Dylan Fox. Tristan Lauderser back there in row number 3 with Damian Kiefer. And then you got Loic Bernier, and then Landon Francis. Your 8 drivers. One less than we've had so far. I wonder if this racing, Tim Terry, is going to be just a little bit crazier.
Yeah, 35 drivers competing in this series. All 35 drivers have answered the call to the green in round number 1. And we are racing for some money this evening. First, second, and third, 300, 200, and 100 respectively. And then everybody racing for those championship prizes. The top 10 on your screen from 10,000 to first, all the way down to 200 for 10th. Oh, by the way, the top 15 will retain their license for this series for 2024. Yeah, we're already talking points. We're already talking about the championship. There's 10 races. You don't want to have a bad race. You don't want to have that mulligan and dig yourself out of a hole, Terry. Especially on race number 1, missing the feature is a huge momentum bust when it comes to racing for some of those prizes.
Yeah, because then you won't be able to win no money to buy a ButtKicker. That's the first thing that comes to my head with the ButtKicker late model series. I mean, you don't want to start off. You got 10 weeks. This is such a short series, to say the least. I mean, you have most other series or 30-plus races. This one's only 10, and you only get one technical off week in this. It is 10 consecutive until Labor Day, like we talked about. You don't want to dig yourself in a hole this early on. You race for 10 grand. I think that should be in the back of everybody's minds when they're going for that transfer spot is like, wait, if I get this position, I have an opportunity to win the feature race and stake my claim to $10,000. But, hey, that pace truck's starting to roll, man. James Eaton's about to be on it.
You want to talk about drivers that missed the mark last season in this series. J.D. Brown started the season out at Fairbury and qualified for the first feature. The next 5, he failed to qualify, put him back outside the top 15 and back into the qualifying series to make it back in to this series for 2023. The 14 car rolls off position number 3 here tonight. Keep your eye on J.D. Brown trying to start the season the way he did last year with a qualifying feature effort, and he finished in 7th place last season in the opener, but he's got to be up on the wheel here to make it into this feature. James Eaton's in front in the 52. Obviously no stranger to this series, but there's another driver that started off a little bit rocky last year, missed a couple of shows to kick off the year, trying to at least get 4th place starting position in the feature this evening as James Edens and Cameron Kaysen on the front row going to lead this field to green for the first of 8 laps. This is the final heat race to qualify here on round number 1 at Volusia. We will run 2 10-lap LCQs, or last chance showdowns, following this one, but we're going to take 4. Move them into the feature here this evening at Volusia. James Edens is your control car in the 52 on the inside. The white and purple 52 is gone. We are underway.
See right there already, trying to fan it 3 wide here. Second's going to clear himself. That's Cameron Kaysen. He's going to get clear of J.D. Brown. But there it is for the transfer spot. 3 wide they go. Now it's 2 by 2. All the way second on back once again as the leader, James Eden, pulls away.
James Edens begins to pull away. They're 2 and 3 wide as they jockey for position. Middle of the pack, that's the 92 on your screen of Lattiser, and trying to get one more spot as works to the inside of Fox as they go back and forth. That is the transfer position on the line. Just in front, J.D. Brown trying to hold that inside, and we can see the line from J.D. Brown. This track continues to change. They're all the way down to that inside wall here in this 4th heat.
And Lattiser was the one that I had my eye on coming into this race, starting a little bit outside that transfer spot, but was very decent in the practice that I saw, had decent speed in that number 92 machine. But yeah, you talked about it, starting to catfish a little bit down there on the bottom. Nobody wants to get up there in that outside lane. It's very slick and it's rubbered in. But there you go right there, the 92 of Lattiser, he slipped up. That almost allowed the 21 of Kiefer to get underneath. As we go back up here, oh man, they're fighting all over the place again.
Yeah, Fox begins to move. Top 4 have kind of broken away. That's not going to help them. Fox to the inside. 3 wide for position number 2. Lattiser trying to close back in as they did have a little bit of a gap, and it's not anymore. 3 wide and maybe 4, maybe 5 as they try to figure out these final transfer positions. James Edens is gone. It's a battle for second.
And you see the disappointment right there on Kiefer's face as he kind of got in a log jam. He went to go look at the inside. They clogged it 4 wide. Nowhere for the 21 to go. Now here he goes. Transfer spot there. White flags in the air in the final heat.
Final heat, and we've got that battle for the transfer beginning to heat up as Brown trying to hold it over Kiefer. Final lap through 3 and 4. Up in front, James Eaton's going to take this away, and Dylan Fox going to come to second at the end of that one. He had to bide his time, was looking 3 wide in the middle at one point, and comes home with the runner-up position and a transfer into the 50-lap feature. Lattiser and Brown, your top 4. Kiefer, Kaysen, Francis, Bernier, your field, as we will have 2 last chance showdowns, 2 10-lap events to finalize the field here at Volusia. We'll have them in just a moment.
Rated E10 for ages 10 and up.
You wanted the best, you got them 4 abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws! World of Outlaws Dirt Racing is available now.
The World of Outlaws ButtKicker Late Model Series is brought to you by ButtKicker. Feel what you've been missing. Pick up your ButtKicker today at thebuttkicker.com. And by World of Outlaws Dirt Racing. Available on Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 4, and PlayStation 5. Drive like an outlaw.
Back at Volusia, heat races are completed for round number 1 of the World of Outlaws ButtKicker Late Model Series powered by iRacing. All that's left is 2 last chance showdowns before we hit the feature competition later on this evening, the first of 2, getting ready to hit the racetrack. It's 10 laps in length. Terry, who is in this one?
You got Dylan Yeager starting right there. P1 with Travis St. Clair, Ethan Toder, Desmond Busby, Tucker Elkins, and Chase Hardy. Your top 6. We'll go back there to Brett Caudell, and then Nathan Waddle with Drew Hopkins, rounding out the 9 cars that we'll take to this one. But I noticed something when we came back from break. The sun's starting to go down, and if memory serves me right, Kenny Chesney, a man who enjoys the nice Florida weather, said that everything gets hotter when the sun goes down. I hope that the racing action does just that.
As you see it on the racetrack, and we're seeing the racetrack work in as well. We may end up seeing a rework before the feature competition later on. Looking at this field that we do have, though, Dylan Yeager, obviously always strong when we go World of Outlaws racing, whether it's here or in the sprint cars. Travis St. Clair has put himself in a position to transfer in, and you can see, especially down into 1, we talked about the track being worked in. We saw a lot of those drivers work the extreme inside in that last heat race. We'll see if they continue to work down there, and as we go through the corner, when we roll these drivers off momentarily, you're going to see the color that is in the racetrack, especially through the corners. Busby is going to be one to watch. Waddell and Hopkins, final 2 starters. There's easily 9 drivers that can win this. We're only taking 2. These drivers are going to be up in the wheel, and reminder, if you're just joining us, no yellow flags in either last chance showdown, so they're going to have to get up on the wheel and get it done for 10 laps.
Yeah, and this is your last opportunity. You have to make something out of this right now. The track temp has rose quite a bit. It was 87 degrees when we took the green flag for heat race number 1. It is now 92 with the partly cloudy conditions, 86 degrees ambient temp with the winds. 3 to 4, we saw the gust up to 12 when we dropped the initial green flag here some time ago. It affects just a little bit, but we'll have to see right here. Can Dylan Yeager hold on? He was right there on the cusp of the transfer spot in heat race number 1. Can he do it here in the LCQ?
Needs to maintain that position. Travis St. Clair had to dig in his heat race, picked up a couple of spots, but Yeager is the control car, and he is getting ready to rock and roll here for this last chance showdown. Toter in position number 3, Busby right in behind. Busby was kind of that odd car out in his heat race where he kind of got squeeze played out of a transfer spot. Sitting in 4th, needs 2 more in order to get in to this first round at Volusia, as Dylan Yeager is the control car, and he is on the hammer. Green flag flies, and quickly bringing that inside line along with him. Toter and St. Clair are going to go at it for second, and a little contact behind.
Yeah, and that was not good right there for Toter, as he got just a little bit of a bump there from the 13 to Travis St. Clair, and that's going to allow Busby, he's going to put himself in 3rd with an opportunity to come up here and get the position of 2nd. That is the transfer here. 1st and 2nd go on to the feature race in both LCQs. Who's going to get it? Yeager starting to step out to 4/10. So you take a look at the battle right here for the 2nd place position.
Yeah, they're looking at position number 3 on that one as Toter looks to the inside of Busby. Busby trying to close back in on that outside groove, and now you see Toter really working that inside through 1 and 2, and you're right on board with Waddell, and he's got some positions to make up. He has got to get up on the wheel here and make something happen.
Yeah, from Weaver, Alabama back there. It's a nice little state and part of county to be in. He's got some work to do. Coming to the halfway point of this LCQ, it doesn't look like he's enjoying his time here so far in the ButtKicker World of Outlaw Late Model Series. This hasn't seemed to find the speed to work his way up here into that position. As there's the battle for the race lead. There's Yeager, St. Clair, Busby. They're right on top of each other. Only about 5/6 of a second separate them.
Busby needs 1 more spot. He needs to get by Travis St. Clair to get in. Travis St. Clair needs to hold Busby off. I'd have to believe if Busby doesn't get in, that might be at least one of the biggest stories early in this one, as Busby is on the wheel, needs that 1 spot in front of him in Travis St. Clair to transfer in. Dylan Yeager beginning to inch away a little bit from the 2nd place battle.
But you see the grooves starting to come into a factor here, Tim. This is going to be fun. You see all the rubber that's been laid down. You see the back bumper cam there of Travis St. Clair from Ohio. He's going to peek to the inside. Not sure if Busby's going to be able to get it, but the run off the exit's been where he's been faster. Can he make this work? His 1's in the middle, 1's all the way to the bottom. It's almost side by side here for 2nd as Travis St. Clair continues to work off the corner.
St. Clair and Busby last season each missed 1 feature contest. They made the rest of the 9, and it looks like one of those drivers on this final lap is going to be the odd man out. It's not going to be Dylan Yeager as long as he hits his marks through 3 and 4. The 48 car is going to come out of corner number 4 underneath the checker flag. He wins last chance showdown number 1, and Travis St. Clair is going to pick up the final transfer position into the feature. And Desmond Busby, keep this one in mind, put this in the footnote, Terry. He missed the first race last year and reeled off 9 consecutive feature transfers at the end of the season. Not what Busby wants to do, but he's going to be in 3rd, 1 spot out. Toter, Hardy, Waddell, Hopkins, Elkins, and Caudell, your 9 drivers in this one. Yeager and St. Clair transfer. Everybody else heads to the house as we get ready to see last chance showdown number 2 on the racetrack. And there's some big names in this one too.
Yeah, Robbie Buchanan Jr. starting there on pole position with Damian Kiefer, Jeremy Still, Cameron Kaysen, Mike Augustine, and Landon Francis, your top 6. Jesse Wall, Luke Bernier, Blake Murray, and Logan Herbert, who had a decent run early, kind of got shuffled back a little bit, got knocked out of the groove. We'll see if he can work his way up from the 10th place position. He's going to have to pick up 8. But I think if it gets racy, Tim, we might be able to see it.
And keep in mind as well, I see Mike Augustine's name in here. There were only a handful of drivers last year that made every feature. Mike Augustine was one of them. And if you want to see Mike and his peers, you can head over to iRacing.com/WOOLM and follow along. Schedule, results and standings, history of this series. So you can get everything that you want about this series, and of course that spotter guide that we keep raving about over at iRacing.com/WOOLM for World of Outlaws late models, of course presented by ButtKicker and powered by iRacing. So Augustine starts position number 5 here. He's going to be one to watch. Loic Bernier, we saw him last year in the World of Outlaws CarQuest Sprint Cars, and he is now in this late model series as a rookie, but obviously he's been around the block when it comes to dirt racing here on iRacing. Starts in position number 8. He's got some work to do in only 10 laps. But you look at Kiefer on the outside, Cameron Kaysen on the outside of row number 2. Those two are going to be ones to watch here. Looking at Kiefer's stats from last season, he only missed 2 of these features. So he's looking to continue the trend per se and get in to another one. And Buchanan trying to maybe unseat some of these drivers that have been around the block a couple of times, especially last season in this World of Outlaws ButtKicker late model series. As the field rolls, we'll come to 1 to go this time by Terry, and these drivers will get ready to contest the final qualifier here this evening.
Yeah, I got a long ways to go, but a short time to get there. And for a lot of these drivers, they don't want to go home. I think that can't be stressed enough for this LCQ. Is they saw who went home in the first one that we had. We did not think that Busby was going to be going home, and we're looking at this now going, is Mike Augustine going to make this race? Is Francis going to make it? What about Cameron Kaysen? Can he get in here? It's going to be entertaining, but the good part about it is, if you're Robbie Buchanan Jr., if history repeats itself, he's going to do what like Dylan Yeager did, step out early, take this lead, and it'll be a battle for second, and he'll never have to look back.
Buchanan in that 31, Steele in the 22, 2 rookies to this World of Outlaws ButtKicker late model series. You got 2 seasoned veterans on the outside now in Damian Kiefer and Cameron Kaysen as we get ready to come to green, and Buchanan is on it. We are underway in the final last chance showdown to qualify for the season opener. 4 wide and behind is a jockey for position.
And that was a very questionable start. Looked like just a little bit of a checkup of sorts there. You talked about that 4 wide. You saw it from the aerial shot. First and second, no contest. Kaysen, Steele, fight it out behind him. And then we go back here and look at this 3 wide fight. There's Wall in mid, there's Herbert, there's Bernier in the 74. They're all trying to get to the front, but battling side by side is not going to do it. You have to get positions early. You have to be able to clear. So far, not so good for these drivers back here fighting outside the top 5. This is a car in the wall.
That was Augustine in the 19 that got the wall. Bernier gets contact, and one more. Yeah, Wall's around. And, of course, no yellow flags. That is going to end the evening for Mr. Wall. Buchanan continues to set the pace up in front. You see that number 31 leading this field. Kiefer is in second, but Cameron Kaysen wants it away.
Yeah, he's absolutely sailed that of the 18 of Kaysen. He sailed it in the corner. He couldn't necessarily make that thing stick as he went to go get the run off the corner. Kiefer got it, but man, the drive in for the number 18 machine has been absolutely stellar. It was stellar in his heat race as well, as we go on board with the Dallas, Georgia native. He's going to have to make it work here. They're on top of each other. He needs Kiefer and Buchanan to start to fight. You see that track worked in very much all the way around here. He just doesn't seem like he has the power off.
You can't see the back of the car, and it doesn't matter because he's got a little bit of breathing room between himself and Jeremy Steele. There's Damian Kiefer as he looks back to see Kaysen, and Kaysen has 2 cars behind him, but Terry's got a little bit of breathing room back there. Buchanan continues to lead you right on board with the second place driver, and he's trying to hold off the rest of the field. There is Buchanan, and you can see Buchanan saw on that wheel to stay out in front.
Yeah, the Tennessee native. finally get a Tennessee reference out of this. Just a little bit outside of Knoxville, Tennessee, where the great old Volunteers play. Hopefully he's a Tennessee fan and it happens. But you see right there with the 31, he's in a good spot. I said history would repeat itself, and he was going to do a good job of pulling away. That rookie playing well, working the grooves nicely as we're coming to complete last lap.
Final lap in the final last chance showdown, and Buchanan to the outside and off of four to the checkered flag. It's Robbie Buchanan Jr. and Damian Kiefer going to take the final two spots into the first season opening event of the year. Kaysen, Steele, Herbert, Francis, Augustine, Murray, Bernier, and Wall complete your field, but it's Buchanan and Kiefer taking those final two transfer spots into the feature. It's 50 laps, and it's up next.
Rated E10 for ages 10 and up.
You wanted the best, you got them for abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws. World of Outlaws Dirt Racing is available now.
The World of Outlaws ButtKicker Late Model Series is brought to you by ButtKicker. Feel what you've been missing. Pick up your ButtKicker today at thebuttkicker.com. And by World of Outlaws Dirt Racing. Available on Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 4, and PlayStation 5. Drive like an outlaw.
Welcome back to Volusia. Qualifying has completed, and we've seen some exciting action, Terry, in the 4 heat races and the 2 last chance showdowns. It has given us 20 cars to contest round number 1. We've got 50 laps coming at us momentarily.
Oh, this has been absolutely incredible. Not my first rodeo with the dirt, but the first time for the late model World of Outlaws, and wow, that's all I can say. This has just been super fun. These drivers have so much talent, and for 20 drivers racing right here, this is a moment for them to take a step ahead of the rest of the competition. But you could take a step in front of the competition with the new World of Outlaw console game on Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 4, and PlayStation 5. Be like one of the Outlaws. Come race with us on one of these wonderful consoles and let us know how it goes.
Lots of different series, lots of different tracks to keep you busy. Great career mode. You can play online with multiplayer. You can do all kinds of different things and different excitement when it comes to the World of Outlaws and dirt racing. And to get your iRacing career started, of course, you're going to want to head to iRacing.com, and you could be mixing it up with some of these drivers in the World of Outlaws ButtKicker Late Model Series. Once again, iRacing.com, the place to go. Our field begins to assemble for round number 1 as we get ready to go. Oh, by the way, no track rework after qualifying. So, Terry, this one's going to be exciting.
Boy, ain't it ever. And you know who gets to feel it first? Your pole sitter, Evan C. with Barrett Bishop to the outside, Kendall Tucker, James Eden, Blake Majulis, and Tanner Tomasi back there in row 3. Peyton Stevenson, Dylan Fox, Chase Barbaretta, Taylon Willis, Caden Honeycutt, and Tristan Lattiser with Dylan Wilson, Logan Rumsey, Colton Zimmer, J.D. Brown, Dylan Yeager, Robbie Buchanan Jr., and rounding out this field, Travis St. Clair and Damian Kiefer.
Evan C. starts on the pole of this one. We have seen this story many times before. Last season, run off a string of first and second place finishes, so he locked the championship up before the season finale even got kicked off. So we'll see what C can do here, obviously very early in this season, but there's a lot of laps to go. He's got a lot of competition, and not to mention Blake Majulis is going to start in position number 5 after finishing second in that first heat to Evan C. Those two guys are some of the big names that are going to be going for those prizes throughout this World of Outlaws ButtKicker Late Model Series. 10,000 to the champion, first, second, and third tonight. 300, 200, and 100. So cash on the line tonight, but the big cash paid out after race number 10.
You talk about your defending champion starting on the pole with Evan C. And then you talked about Blake Majulis as well, your 2019 series champion, your 2022 runner-up here in this series. There's a ton of talent that has been in there. You got the 2022 qualifying series winner with Barrett Bishop. Kendall Tucker, the 2019 runner-up. These drivers are ready to go. Logan Rumsey as well, your qualifying series winner for this year in the field. You got eNASCAR, Craftsman Truck Series driver, a late model driver in Caden Honeycutt. Talent galore. And then you got us in the booth, Tim. What else could go? What else could be better?
Yeah, absolutely. We're excited to bring you these 10 races and see who ends up coming out with the top spot and who makes the headlines throughout this 2023 campaign. Evan C. Barrett Bishop with a great qualifying effort. Going to start this one on the outside of row number 1. Kendall Tucker, there's another name that did not miss a feature last season. Lines it up in position number 3 with James Edens to the outside, looking for a good run to start off this season. Some big names when it comes to the World of Outlaws ButtKicker Late Model Series and the World of Outlaws Championship Series that we do have here on iRacing up in front. Your top 5 are a who's who when it comes to these championship series. We are getting ready to go in round number 1 of the World of Outlaws Late Model Series, presented by ButtKicker and powered by iRacing. Pace truck going to peel off in the field in command of your defending champion of the series. It's Evan C. in the 33 getting ready to go green. He punches the hammer. We are underway for 50 laps of Volusia.
He gets an early jump here, but we go too wide. Oh, there's a spin back there, a little further back. That didn't go the way they wanted in a log jam. Caution flag waves. That started at about row number 3 or 4, and then the rest of the field just easily piled in. Nowhere to go here at the world's fastest half mile. Caution number 1 on lap number 1 for the World of Outlaws ButtKicker Series.
And we will remind you that we do not count caution laps in the World of Outlaws ButtKicker Late Model Series, so the field will assemble behind the pace truck, and we'll take a little look and see what happened here momentarily in the first lap, first caution of the season. And hopefully they got those, maybe those butterflies out, Terry, as they got that first lap was somewhat completed.
Yeah, I started to have a little butterflies right there myself when they took the green flag. I was like, man, we're either going to wreck them or we're going to go 4 wide. And they attempted to, and they ended up wrecking it. But for in this portion of it, you got a couple drivers that have decided to come down and take a little bit of a tow. As we look at the replay here, it's all going to start right here. Just a little bit of contact there from that outside, and around they go. And I'm trying to get a visual of who that was that got around. It's a 91 machine. That's going to be Peyton Stevenson that went around there. And nowhere for nobody to go here. It turns into like I-95 at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. There's bumper to bumper. The avenue is always packed here in dirt racing. And we get them all racked back up again. And well, let's try this again, Tim Terry.
We'll see if we can get a rhythm back into this one as we get ready to go racing. Our first caution period of the evening has concluded as the field will get ready to come back to the green flag. It's Evan C. and Barrett Bishop. We'll re-rack them and restack them Up in front, Kendall Tucker, James Edens trying to make something happen from a row number 2 as the field works through turns 3 and 4 and kind of slows them up a little bit there behind. Green flag flies for C. We're back underway, and we'll see how this restart goes as they run down the back straightaway.
Good play on words with Evan C. We'll definitely see how this goes, but he talks about that. We saw that in heat number 3 where they checked up the field just a little bit. The 0-0 of Kendall Tucker almost got into the inside of C for the lead, but he's side by side with Bishop. You got Edens right there as well in the number 52. It's side by side. We go 2 by 2, 3 wide a little further on back. It's racy early at Volusia Speedway Park.
Bishop on that outside trying to hold it, and Kendall Tucker trying to take it away, and James Edens there as well. We go into the Hornet's Nest right now. That's Dylan Fox you're right on board with the 999, trying to find a place to race right now. That is 7th. It's got 6 ahead of him, but there's 6 really strong competitors, including Blake Majulis. Tomasi right ahead of them as well in the 09, the rookie up here battling with the veterans of this series.
Yeah, there's nowhere to go right there for Dylan Fox. He's trying to find a spot. They're going every which direction. You got the 0-0 of Tucker all the way up against the wall, and then everybody else, you got one all the way to the bottom, trying to find a place to get in where you fit in. And early on in this race, there's nowhere to go. It is absolute covered. Oh, it's the 09 of Tomasi. He almost lost it there. Had to almost overcorrected. Had to catch it right underneath Majulis. That could have been big in a big way there.
We're not used to seeing Blake Majulis fall back this early. He's trying to get back into the top 5 as Tanner works to the inside, trying to get a top 5 run out of this race, albeit early in this one. Will complete 8 laps this time by, and Evan C. has pulled away from the rest of this field.
Yeah, but if you're Majulis, you have to feel good. You have a driver leading this from the Majulis C Speed Shop. And then you're running top 5. I'm sure you would love to go up there and mix it up for the win, but ownership side as well, you have to feel good. You take a look at this battle still going on for that 5th place position as Tomasi still tries to get up just a little bit to the back bumper of Blake Majulis for that 5th place spot. And then you got Edens right there, and then we go back 1. Here's Fox. Here's Stevenson fighting it out. Stevenson was just around not too long ago. He's rebounded back up to 7th. A good little start for a lot of these drivers, minus the initial green flag.
Got Dylan Wilson back there working the inside of Willis. We haven't talked about Talon Willis at all this evening. Made his way into this race through his heat race, continued to work up through, but good to see the 10 car making some laps here. But he's got a very hungry Dylan Wilson behind him in the 80 as they battle for 10th place as they work out of the corner into the start-finish line.
Yeah, you go on board right here with Logan Rumsey from Pennsylvania, Manchester, Pennsylvania, that is, in the number 41 machine. I like all those stickers behind him, all of the sponsors that he has, and you see the focus on him. He's got his head tilted just a little bit, or maybe his camera's tilted, trying to get as much attention to that screen as possible so he doesn't run into anybody. This is kind of a difficult thing to do, is you're trying to keep the car from sliding up into the outside groove. Holding your lane is a very big part of the dirt side of this, and especially when you got 2 wide, 3 wide in front of you, and the car might not be handling like you want it to. So extra focus right now when the track is slick. This thing is, you got people trying to get all the way up there, trying to get in the cushion. This is a very rubbered-in racetrack.
Evan C. continues to lead up in front, not missing much for the lead. He's pulled away by a second. Over now, Kendall Tucker. Barrett Bishop has fallen to 3rd as this battle for 10th continues to intensify. Dylan Wilson trying to get up here and make something happen. Caden Honeycutt leads this little pack around as the 10 and the 10 go at it for those spots. And that top 7 or so begins to inch away from this little pack that we're seeing on our screen.
Yeah, side by side in the late models is going to lose you a ton of spots. And you look right there, you talked about it with Honeycutt. It's a log jam. And you would think that Wilson would be able just to easily get around him, but he just hasn't been able to figure it out. As a little contact was made right there in the corner. That's off of 4. almost checked him up and is going to put him in a battle right now. There comes Dylan Wilson. He's going to put his way up there, get a nose in. As you look on the back version from the Laredo, Texas driver of Caden Honeycutt, he's got a lot of people behind him wanting to go. As now he's got Dylan Wilson trying to go to the inside and not going to be able to get in there that time.
A couple of iRacing cars going at it for position number 10 and 9 as Wilson tries to get 8th away from Honeycutt, and Honeycutt on that wheel, sawing on the wheel, but now he's got Wilson to deal with on the bottom side as they continue to battle it out for that position. And Dylan Fox trying to get back up into the top 10 after slipping a couple of positions. Fox started, I believe, in position number 8 and now outside the top 10 for the first time as we near the halfway point.
Yeah, what an excellent drive right there from Wilson. He got underneath and was able to get on the gas just a little bit quicker, but Honeycutt's not letting go. He powers back on the outside, taps the wall just a little bit. Oh, he rips him out of the groove, puts him in the cushion. He got too wide right there as Honeycutt gets popped back as the battle for second heats up on the top. The battle for 8th still hot in the bottom.
We've got some great racing heating up here as we close in on the halfway point at Volusia. The battle for second up top. It continues to be a fantastic battle just inside the top 10 and now 3 wide. And behind them is Dylan Fox, tries to hold them off through the middle.
Yeah, why not take it 3 wide? You've already been 2. You've seen a little bit of contact get made as well, but here they go, bottom of the screen. That battle it's hotter than a campfire in the middle of winter. As all of these drivers right on top of each other. You see that battle for second, third, fourth, fifth, sit within maybe 2 car lengths from each other. One bobble's going to change the complexion of this race as Tucker tries to hold Bishop. Blake Majulis has worked his way back up there to 4th, and Tomasi sitting there in 5th. That is a game changer and a half because that's money positions that could be transferred right here.
Kendall Tucker got by Barry Bishop about 10 laps ago, Terry, but hasn't been able to pull away from Bishop, Majulis, and Tomasi as they battle in behind now for 14th. You see Travis St. Clair, one of our transferees in that black and green number 13, made his way through that last chance showdown. Battles in behind with J.D. Brown. Brown trying to get a little bit more than what is currently 15th place. And just in behind them is Zimmer. Side by side with the 13 and the 14, St. Clair and Brown. And Zimmer trying to make something happen here as well. A little contact there as they swap a little paint.
Yeah, swapping just a little bit of paint down there on the bottom. And Brown kind of struggled. So did St. Clair in their heat races and moved them to the LCQ. And they're struggling here in the feature in 14th, 15th, and 16th with Zimmer right there as well. As we'll go full screen with this battle. Zimmer saw the contact get made, had to check up in the 20 just a little bit. Now he's going to see if he can maybe take this 3 wide if he can get the run to the outside. Not going to get it there, but the 14 bobbled again. Brown's just not having the run we thought he would have.
And I'm going to touch some wood as I say this. The battle that we saw a little bit earlier on that facilitated that lap number 1 caution. We're not seeing that sense of urgency right now, but we are seeing some fantastic racing. You ride on board with Colton Zimmer as he's got those 2 ahead of him, and Brown and St. Clair, 2 drivers that know a thing or 2 about this series. And the downside to this, Terry, there's a lot of clean racetrack in between those 2 cars battling and the next battle up the road, which would be Dylan Fox in 13.
Yeah, they've lost touch of the rest of the pack, and that has to do with the raciness and potentially just a little bit of handling, a little bit of speed issue as well, as Volusia's been known to be a very handling characteristic of a racetrack. Is if you don't hit it right on the money, you're not going to have a good day. And for a lot of these drivers, it has not been a good day. Kiefer's gone, Barbaretta 2 laps down, and for these drivers here, the leaders are starting to catch it as it's Barbara is back there in 19th, 2 laps down. Now make it 3, but the leaders could potentially come up here and get to the back bumper of this fight that's going on as C has just absolutely put a barn burner on them.
Robbie Buchanan a part of this battle as well. Buchanan was one of our last chance showdown winners and trying to get 3 more spots of this one as Bishop tries to get Tucker for position number 2. And we mentioned it first half of the race. Barrett Bishop was running second. lost that spot to Kendall Tucker, but Tucker hasn't been able to pull away. The only one that has been able to pull away is Evan C. He has turned the wick up the last couple of laps as he sits 1.7 seconds ahead of this field, and that battle or that gap continues to get larger. I think the driver that's going to be moving here just off our shot is the 5th place driver of Blake Majulis, trying to set up Tomasi just ahead of him, and then those two would be the next ones up on the list. There's Bishop looking at position number 2.
Yeah, he's going to get to the inside right there. You got a lap machine all the way up. That's Tristan Laudiser, who's just up the road. And lap traffic we didn't think was going to be too big of a deal until we realized that we had that early caution, and then the drivers just started having us a little bit of an issue. But Barrett Bishop all the way down there in the bottom from Mount Holly, North Carolina, going to try to use that lap car as a pick. He'll go all the way to the bottom here, trying to slide up. Not going to be able to make that run, but here comes Tomasi. He's there as well. That 4th place driver starting to creep in. He got a little bit loose there in the corner.
And Tomasi and Majulis at the back of this 4-car pack trying to battle it out for that spot. They all clear the lap traffic, and now it's a little bit of clear sailing in front of them, and it's a lot of clear sailing between themselves and Evan C. With less than 10 laps to go, C has pulled away. The last thing that he needs is a yellow. You're right on board with Tanner, and you can see the leader up the road, but it's a very distant up the road.
Yeah, and for Tomasi, he's just looking right here for any air that's going to put in between these two drivers right in front of him, and Tucker and Bishop. And if he gets them side by side, he might be able to take this thing to the outside. But look at how this track has changed from when we started to what it is now. I mean, it's almost single grouped its way out. It's now, well, Bishop proves me a little bit wrong. He goes down to the bottom, tries to catfish just a little bit down there. Not going all the way to the wall, but going an inch or two lower than what Tucker's doing. But Pittsburgh, Kansas in the 09, trying to work his way up here to get around for the 2nd place position. And hey, you could get $100 if you just finish 3rd. There it is, side by side for 2nd.
Bishop continues to work that bottom groove on Tucker for the runner-up position in this one. We have 5 laps to go in this event on round number 1 at Volusia. And as you mentioned, Tanner's back there looking to try to see if anything happens in front of him to pick up that final podium position. But Barrett Bishop wants to dispatch Tucker, and as they battle, it's closing in the 09 behind.
Yeah, Bishop's on Tucker like hogs on slop. He's down there to the bottom, working that wheel all the way through the corner, trying to get that 2nd place position away from Kendall Tucker. He gets it right there just by an inch. But that's letting Tomasi starting to work his way in there as well. Blake Majulis closing in. You see it working in our camera shot there. It's a drag race for 2nd, coming to 2 laps to go.
Majulis has turned up the wick as well, but he might be too little too late as these guys continue to battle. And Tanner's looking to pick up one more as Kendall Tucker and Barrett Bishop battle just ahead of him. But we are in the closing laps of this one. They'll come by this time and see the white flag at Volusia. As they come out of 4, they'll see it here from Barney. Final lap at Volusia, and up in front, Evan C. leads this thing down the back straightaway. Battle for 2nd at the end of this one is going to be the one that's going to be hotly contested. But Evan C., wire to wire, your defending champion, picks up round number 1 of the 2023 World of Outlaws ButtKicker Late Model Series, and contact in behind. And Barrett Bishop going to steal him one at the end of this one. Tucker, Tomasi, and Majulis, your top 5. Evan C., one more time picks up another victory and continues essentially his streak of 1st and 2nd place finishes in this series.
Yeah, he absolutely put him on it tonight, and that was a master class of driving from Evan C. That was a master class of driving between Barrett Bishop and Kendall Tucker for 2nd.
Yeah, you look at the field: Evan C., Barrett Bishop, Kendall Tucker, Tomasi in the 09 and 4th. Great rookie effort, or great first race for the rookie, and Blake Majulis in 5th. And you look at those names that are in the top 7 that have been here before in this series. Great run by Tanner to put himself in with James Edens in 6th, Dylan Wilson in 7th, Talon Willis in 8th, Peyton Stevenson in 9th, and Caden Honeycutt comes home with a top 10 effort. Back half of this first feature of the season, it's Logan Rumsey, Dylan Yeager, Dylan Fox, J.D. Brown, Travis St. Clair, Colton Zimmer. Robbie Buchanan picked up a couple of spots at the end of that one from his LCQ win. Comes home in 17th. Ladisser in 18th. Barbara in 19th. And Damian Kiefer going to look for a little bit more next week as he rounds out the top 20. What a show put on by these World of Outlaw ButtKicker late model series competitors. And Terry, I believe you have caught up with our winner, Evan C.
Defended champion comes into race number 1 at Volusia and gets it done. Evan C. Man, that thing was on rails tonight. How did you get this one done?
I think that qualifying set us up pretty good. I was pretty worried about qualifying. I don't think no one knew what line it was going to be, or, even when we was out there qualifying, I just kind of gave it my best guess, and, turned out, I guess I hit the perfect line, and, was able to get pole there, and I was pretty confident in the race sets, and, that we had a pretty good race pace. So I didn't know if we'd have any yellow, so I didn't know how hard to push up in this tire wear, so but I just trying to set a decent pace out front with what felt like a good pace to me, and not make any mistakes there, and hopefully if yellow came out, I would have something left at the end.
Got to ask you, any pressure coming into this season as the defending series champion to go out here and say, hey, I'm the best when it comes to dirt? And what are you going to do the rest of the season? Are you going to keep that string of first and second finishes going on?
Yeah, I don't know if I can, do better than last season. I don't think no one's had that good of a pro series and any pro series on iRacing, to be honest. So, but it kind of took the pressure off once I won it last year, because I'd been trying, and I felt like I could have won it, or had the speed to win it the previous pro series in 2020. So, to finally win it last year just kind of took some pressure off, and I can kind of go into this year, already been a champion. I've already, finished in the top 5 in points like 2 or 3 times. So I know what it takes now, and, kind of know what to do now for sure.
Well, congratulations on your win, Tim Terry. That's Evan C. from Majula C. Speed Shop getting it done here this evening.
And I believe we are going to continue to roll on. And Terry, you're going to make your way down to chat with Barrett Bishop.
Yeah, Barrett, you come home right here in that second place position. And what a battle. What our third. What a battle right there with Kendall Tucker there at the very end. Walk me through the end of that race where it was almost a 1-2 for Majula C Speed Stop.
Yeah, it was pretty tough. Just kind of rode the line for 50 laps. There were about 10 to go. I was trying to search and find something to get around him and couldn't. But I don't think I'd have got around him if he didn't start sliding up off the corner. He kept getting higher and higher, and finally got to him and cut down to the mud all 4 and got him. So pretty boring, but we had a good run at least.
Well, I wouldn't say it was pretty boring. I think you guys put on one heck of a show, but you come home second. Momentum going into this season. Your teammates with the defending series champion. Obviously, the notes that you guys share will definitely help you throughout the rest of the season. If you had to pick a race this season that you could potentially win, what would be the track?
I'd have to say Eldora. That's always been my favorite track, I think, and I've always ran pretty good there, so I think that's my best shot.
Well, congratulations on P2. That's the driver from Majula C Speed Shop's number 3, Barrett Bishop.
There you go, Terry. Kendall Tucker.
Yeah, we got Kendall Tucker back here as well. And Kendall, what a show for the P2 position. You come home third, and it was a 1-2-3 from Majula C Speed Shop. And, man, what a race with your teammate. And he talked about you slipping up off the exit of the corner. What was the track doing in the later parts of the race that kind of made you just a little bit tight off exit?
Yeah, I guess my tires just kind of faded away there. Not real sure. Seemed like whenever I was behind Barrett there, I was a little bit faster than him, and I'm not real sure if it was net code or what, but I weirdly hooked him there going down the straightaway, and I'm glad he was able to save it, and I really hate that happened. So sorry about that. But, late in the race there, I seen Evan there out in front. He started kind of drifting up, off the corner exit of 2 a little bit to try to keep his right sides in the moisture, and seemed like Barrett, he was all over me there. So I knew I had to try to switch it up a little bit, and I was able to hold him off there until the last corner. So, I wish it could have been 49 laps, but I guess that's why they run 50 here.
Well, you caught the wall right there at the very end, and we head into next week. Great opportunity for Majula C Speed Shop to potentially go 1, 2, 3 again.
Yeah, I mean, that's the goal, to get all these cars up front, and always go after good finishes, and hopefully compete for wins, every single week, if we're lucky enough to. So, I just can't say enough about all those guys over there, for really, for helping me out and, giving me everything I need. I feel like to be, really competitive on here. So, really got to thank, Evan and Blake and Chris and everybody back at CFM for everything.
Well, congratulations on P3. Tim Terry, that's Kendall Tucker, driver of the number 00, bring it home in the podium position.
And we will see Volusia fall in the rearview mirror, and we'll look forward to Fairbury Speedway coming up in 1 week time, same place, same Monday night. But it's round number 2, and if Volusia was any indication, we saw a couple of anxious moments, Terry, in the first lap of this one. But we saw some great racing afterwards.
Oh, and Fairbury brings even more excitement. You see the track right here, and multiple grooves, 3, 4, 5 wide at times. You can go all the way to the tire barrier, all the way to the wall. You're not going to want to miss it. July 17th, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on iRacing's wonderful part of networks. And man, what a fun time at Volusia.
And it's a perfect night for Evan C. Picks up a heat win and picks up the feature victory in round number 1, defending champion on top of the board one more time. That's going to do it for us here this evening. On behalf of our entire iRacing broadcast crew and Terry Radford, my name is Tim Terry. We will see you next week from Fairbury when we say let's go racing. Until then, keep the hammer down, and we'll see you at the track.